Welcome to Underqualified and Over It. I am your host, Alice, and joining me as always is Cindy.
Hi.
In this podcast, we are over opinionated and unfortunately allowed to talk. So sit back, lower your expectations, and let's get into it.
So my camera did that thing because I was holding my hand up and it like zoomed out. So I started laughing halfway through that.
That's fine.
Oh well. That's okay. Also, it is 1:30 in the morning. Because both of us got distracted, so that's fine. It is what it is.
I mean, it's what happens when you end up playing video games.
Yeah.
And
well, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially grindy, like survival video games because they just like eat away. But it's not really like it matters that much because you and I both are pretty nocturnal people.
We are, yeah. For clarification, we were playing Dune. For everybody listening, we were playing Dune.
We'll talk about it next session.
Yeah, we'll talk about Dune next session a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit in the part of it.
Yeah, because we had somebody request that we talk about video games, so yeah, we have that planned for.
I feel like we're handling a lot of requests today because one of the subjects for this specific podcast episode is going to be a suggestion from somebody as well. So.
Oh really?
Yeah. Cool. And it's like we said, it's like 1:30, and I have to butcher some Gaelic. So great idea to do it this time in the morning.
That'd be a good time.
Yeah.
Because you and I are notoriously Duolingo? No, that's not what I was trying to say. We're bilingual.
Bilingual, that's the one.
Oh man.
So how have you been since the last recording session?
I've been simultaneously great and shit. Because this recording session was supposed to happen like 5 days ago. And it didn't happen because I had all manner of audio problems. I thought it was the cord. I tried unplugging it. I tried plugging it back in. I tried taking off some of the filters that I had, some of the digital filters on my microphone, because I was having some weird feedback issues that did not include the cat bells running around in the background. It was completely different. But yeah, so this was technically supposed to happen 5 days ago.
Yeah.
We were supposed to record on Monday. It's now Friday. And that gives us just over a week to get the next few episodes edited and uploaded. So yeah, no, we thrive under pressure. It's fine.
It's part of having the ADHD of the D's.
Yeah, ADHD's nuts. Anyway. But yeah, so I'm actually supposed to be like getting a decent amount of sleep because I was supposed to go into town tomorrow because I was going to go to the gym, because that was another thing. I've started going to the gym as of last week again, which has been really good. But when I have to walk 15 minutes to the train. It's like a 20-minute train journey in. Then I have to carry everything to the gym. So I have like, not only when I go into town, I take my bag with my laptop, work stuff, but also now I'm carrying a gym bag. And I didn't think about how after I shower at the gym, how wet clothes and towels get heavier. So I'm like hauling all of this stuff with me all over town. My shoulders are hurting. I push myself really, really hard on the elliptical. And because I apparently hate myself. Hold on, let me. Yeah, that. I don't know how to pronounce this name properly. But because I had a few, like I have a playlist that I do my cardio to. It's like 45 minutes long. And it's just like, most of the songs are upbeat enough to where like, you can step with the beat. But I felt like I had a few slow songs.
Mm-hmm.
And toward the like back third of like the last 10 minutes of my workout, I decided to put on Carmel Dancing.
Oh my god, you must hate yourself.
Yeah, no, and I absolutely killed it. I'm on the elliptical. I am American. I live in the UK. I'm a lot more extroverted with even my like how I emote when I'm on the elliptical. I'm up there. I'm doing body rolls. I'm like dancing, and everybody's looking at me like I'm crazy. And I've gone off my rocker because British people do not emote that way.
No.
Yeah.
Especially not out in public.
No, absolutely not. God forbid.
The only time that British people emote larger is when they've had a good few pints in them.
Pretty much every night in the evening. But yeah, so I put that on, and when I got off the elliptical, which also, because it's like a metro city, the gym is 3 levels. And of course, like they have a lift or an elevator, but that's for people who are disabled. So if you're able-bodied, use the stairs. When I tell you, they have the cardio on the 3rd floor. So you have to climb all the way up. And then to leave, you have to climb all the way down.
Hang on, so you have to do cardio before you do your cardio?
Yeah, it was something that when I went to go look at the gym, I commented on it, and she's like, "Yeah, you get your warm up."
Yeah,
on your way up.
I was just about to say, it's a warm up, isn't it?
Oh my gosh, it was so bad, but like my legs were such jelly, and then I went down to go stretch in like the little areas that they had, and both areas where I would normally stretch had classes going on.
Oh no.
And so I was like sitting there, and I'm like, in this little alcove by the fire hydrant, like stretching and everything. And I'm like, my legs are really like tight and everything. And I must have looked haggard because this guy came up to me as I was stretching. He's like, "Are you okay?" It's like, do I look that rough? God dang.
Do I look how I feel?
But I felt great, and then I came home, and the next day I felt like death.
Yeah.
So I'm supposed to go to the gym tomorrow, but I don't know if I want to go into town tomorrow. I'm kind of changing my mind mid-evening, because one, I have somebody who's wanting help with moving house, and so I'm trying to like not leave my house and like not do anything. Because I do have a bunch of work that I need to get done. And I know that if I go into town, I'll be more distracted. And 2, my hair dye comes in tomorrow because that's another thing that I've been thinking of doing. I've been wanting to dye and cut my hair, and I think I'm actually going to make a video about it. So we'll see how it goes. I have, I've got 2 able-bodied hands and Brad Mondo to guide me, so we'll see how it goes.
We love
I'm
Brad
sure
Mondo.
it'll be fine.
Yeah, I need to sort mine out because it's like it used to be like bright red, and now it's just like it's this horrible, like not even ginger anymore. It's like this horrible, like mousy brown, and I'm just like, no. So I've been considering just going out and getting like a couple of boxes, like pillar box red, and just be like, dash it on there. Get it done.
Well, and you know this, like I was looking at trying to find a place to do my hair. And like in the US, there are plenty of places. Like obviously not like great, but there are plenty of places where you can just walk in and get a hair appointment. I feel like getting a hair appointment here is like getting a referral from your primary care physician in the US. Like you cannot get a hairstylist. And it makes no sense because there's like 80,000 barber shops and salons along the main road where I live. It's like, why can't I just walk in somewhere? It's like, oh, we don't have an appointment available until Thursday, the 16th of next month. And it's like, okay, bro, that's like, why not?
And then you've also got the problem of, like, obviously we're of the alternative variety, and not a lot of hairstylists know how to do alternative hair. And then you have to specifically search for somebody who is trained in alternative hairstyles. So I wanted a wolf cut, and it's not turned out how I wanted my hair. But I liked it when I got my hair cut from the lady that does my hair. I do like my hair once she'd done it. But I think at some point I am gonna want it to be more like jaggedy. So I'm just gonna have to keep asking, do more layers, just make it crazy, go for it.
Well, and who knows, because I'm actually going to be doing a wolf cut on myself. That's what I've decided to do.
You might be able to do mine.
I might be able to do yours. And it's also, Kenny, my husband, has said that if this turns out good, he might let me start cutting his hair.
Nice.
Which is, I mean, I've cut men's hair before. Like, I've dyed. I'm used to doing other people's hair. Like, I've even given people like highlights and shit before. Like, it's not that difficult, but I've never done it on myself. And when I tell you, I'm scared for my arms. So that's why I'm thinking maybe not go to the gym.
Oh my God, it hurts.
Because that's going to be an arm workout in and of itself.
Like, so I used to have hair basically down to my arse. And I used to bleach that. Okay?
Ooh.
And then, right, so what I used to do is I used to wait a week and not wash my hair. And then what I'd do is I'd wash it, bleach it, wait a further 2 weeks, 1 week of not washing my hair, and then 1 week of sporadically washing my hair. And then on the second week, I'd then put a different colour in, because I've got, my natural hair is quite dark brown, so I need to lighten it before I want to put any other colours on. So that's what I have to do. And I had I think I was using, like, when I was doing box dye, I was using about 5 or 6 boxes. That's how long my hair was.
Jeez. That's crazy. I will say I've never used a box dye. So normally when I was doing, because I've done all sorts of crazy colors, I would do demi-permanent hair, like colors and things. And so I would lift my hair all the way up to like a level 10 and just go for it. I actually had to, like, that's one of the things that I had to order, was I had to order a level 10 developer because I only have like 20 or 30 from when I used to like bleach my hair and stuff. And I'm not trying to do all that noise. I'm tired of having frayed ends. Like, I feel like my blonde hair would tangle so much more, like, because it was so fried. So yeah, I actually needed to get a level 10 developer, and then I have the color doesn't come in until tomorrow, which I'm actually not going to tell you what color, because
it's going to be a surprise.
My video.
It's going to be a surprise.
You're going to have to go watch my video.
Okay.
So
thanks.
Yeah. But that's me in a nutshell for the past week.
Nice.
All right, so what's on the agenda today, Mommy?
On the agenda today, we are starting our cryptid deep dives.
Ooh.
And currently I have ready about 2 episodes, but it's probably going to end up being more and more episodes as we go along, due to the fact of there are a multitude of cryptids out there. So, being as I'm from the UK and you're originally from the US, I've chosen some UK versus US cryptids today. And that's going to be the same for the next episode. Don't know when we're going to have that up, but keep an eye out. Give us a like and a subscribe, and you'll be able to know when our cryptid stuff's coming out.
Ooh, we love a sassy call to action.
A call to action, yeah.
Sorry, I'm going to interrupt you before you even start. This may be something you're gonna answer in your. I did write down questions this time, so you better be proud of me. It's only 3 questions, but I hear the word cryptid a lot. What the fuck does cryptid even mean?
So, a cryptid is usually a kind of creature that can't be explained. So, cryptid comes from cryptozoology. And so you can have different types of cryptozoology. And I actually wanted to be a cryptozoologist when I was younger. I actually went to college to do animal care, and then I was going to go on to do like a full lot of animal care, and then go into university and do into cryptozoology. And the one main path of cryptozoology is discovering animals that haven't been discovered yet, or rediscovering animals that we thought had gone extinct and didn't exist anymore.
Right.
Like they've rediscovered the platypus in the most recent years.
Really?
Yeah, because the duck-billed platypus.
Did platypuses disappear?
Yeah, the duck-billed platypus was on the extinct list for a good while, and then they found like a little island of them or something, or a cave of them, or wherever they found them. I haven't got the exact information for that because I've just
because you weren't expecting.
I wasn't expecting to answer that question. Yeah, but so the whole sort of cryptid things comes from stuff that we don't necessarily know about. Right. So they could be real. These things could be real. Like there's I don't think I'd talk about them in these ones, but there's stuff like an example would be the Beast of Bodmin Moor, which was a cat. Or they thought it was a big cat that had escaped from a zoo, kind of thing. Maybe I'll put it in a future episode and I'll go into detail about it.
Maybe we could do like an episode of like former cryptids.
Yeah. Well,
something.
This one's still like they still have like all of the informational stuff down in. I can't remember where it was. Where that is. It's down south somewhere.
South UK.
Yeah.
Or south.
Yeah, down south UK.
Oh, okay.
But we're going to go on into the episode now. When people think of cryptids, they usually think of America. Creatures in endless forests, things mimicking voices, and legends that actively tell you to leave. But the UK has cryptids too. They're older, quieter, and tend to appear in fog, like they've been waiting centuries for you specifically.
Ooh, spicy.
Tonight, we're doing 2 UK cryptids and 1 American, comparing the legends, the fear factor, and which country is doing unknown horrors better. Deep in the Scottish Highlands, high on the upper slopes of Ben Macdui, the second tallest peak in the British Isles, there's a presence that has haunted mountaineers for over a century. Locals call it Amphia Liamur, the big grey man. Descriptions vary. Some say it's a towering humanoid covered in short hair. Others feel nothing, yet sense an unseen observer. Almost every encounter mentions the same eerie sounds. Heavy footsteps crunching across the gravel and scree, echoing through the thick mist. But the first recorded sighting came in 1891 from chemistry professor and mountaineer J. Norman Colley. Descending in dense fog, he heard footsteps keeping pace with him, one for every 3 or 4 of his own, staggering down boulder-strewn slopes in terror. Colley later then told the tale at a Caragorn Club meeting, concluding there was something very queer on Ben Macdui, something he would never see again. Other climbers followed. Alexander Callis reported a large figure approaching from the summit, vanishing into the fog, leaving only a feeling of dread. In 1940, a camper described a humanoid creature at least 20 feet tall, circling his tent before disappearing. And in 1943, Alexander Tuinon fired 3 shots at a large figure in the mist, only to find his bullets seemingly had no effect. Explanations abound. Some suggest the phenomenon is a Brocken spectre, a magnified shadow cast by climbers onto the fog. Others point to wildlife, shifting rocks, or the mountain's isolating atmosphere. Still, none can fully account for the footsteps, the deep sense of unease, or the towering shapes glimpsed through the mist. So, what really haunts Ben McDewey? Perhaps it's the trick of the light, a product of fatigue, or the imagination of lonely hikers. Or maybe, just maybe, the big grey man still wanders those upper slopes, waiting silently in the fog.
Okay, so don't listen to this episode if it's dark out. That's fine.
Sorry, I took all of the information from these and turned them into, like, kind of interesting little story.
Nightmare storytelling? Yeah.
I hope you like it.
I do. One thing that I want to anybody who is listening in America, Ben means mountain. So Mountain McDewey would be so because that took me longer than it should have.
Did you have to Google it?
Well, it's like how most people know that Loch means lake, but they don't know that Ben means mountain. So you have Loch Lomond, but then you also have Ben Lomond.
Yeah.
Which is the mountain that's next to the lake. So
then you also have Loch Ness. And I specifically decided not to talk about Nessie this episode because everybody talks about Nessie. And I was saying this to my Scottish friend, and he said, "Oh, talk about the big grey man then."
Okay.
All right.
I will say, so while you were doing your storytelling, I did Google images of the Grey Man, and I will say he looks a lot like how America would say like Bigfoot looks or Sasquatch would look.
Well, another thing about cryptids as well, especially the UK ones, is when we were Pangea, where the UK and the US actually meet when we were Pangea, there is a line that you can follow, and that line goes from like the bottom of America, on the East Coast specifically, and it goes all the way up, and then it carries on through the UK, and it's mostly Ireland, the top of Wales, and then all the way through to Scotland. And do you know what that line was? Or now is in America? It's the Appalachian Trail.
I was going to say it's probably the Appalachian area.
Yeah, it's the Appalachian Trail. And it connects. So it does not surprise me that on that same line, we do have those cryptids. Because they're so prevalent in America on that particular spot. I mean, you've got other ones that are other places, but yeah.
Mothman.
Mothman. Well, I'm going to be talking about the Mothman in the next episode of the cryptids.
Oh my gosh.
Because we also have a similar beast over here, but you're going to have to check out the next episode for that one. Anyway, talking about America, we're going to pop over there now. And we are popping over to the Appalachian Mountains.
Oh, color me shocked.
Okay. Deep in the Appalachian Mountains, stretching from Pennsylvania through Virginia and North Carolina, there lurks a creature that has captured the imagination of hikers, TikTok users, and late-night internet scrollers alike. Locals, and now the internet at large, call it the knot deer. Descriptions vary. Some say it looks like a deer at first glance, only to reveal something deeply wrong. Front-facing predator eyes, legs that bend unnaturally, a misshapen head, or a neck far too long. Others report erratic jerking movements or unsettling clicking noises. Almost every encounter shares the same eerie sensation, a sense of danger, of being watched, of standing in the presence of something decidedly not right. Sightings have been reported for decades, but the phenomenon gained major attention recently on TikTok, with users wandering the wooded foothills of the Appalachians, hoping or perhaps daring to encounter the creature. Some claim to have seen it moving along ordinary deer, unnoticed by the herd, sometimes standing its ground, sometimes moving towards the observer. The origins of the knot deer are murky. Some suggest it is linked to Native American legends, perhaps a modern echo of the Navajo skinwalker, a shapeshifter capable of taking the form of a deer. Others draw comparisons to the Wendigo, though the knot deer seems more ominous and strange than outright bloodthirsty. Modern explanations exist too. Many researchers suggest the knot deer may simply be deer suffering from chronic wasting disease, a neurological illness that causes strange behaviour, aggression, and a lack of fear towards humans. And yet, some encounters defy easy explanation. So, what really prowls the Appalachian forests? Is it a misbehaving animal? A supernatural shapeshifter? Or something entirely new? Perhaps it's a trick of the mind, a product of social media hysteria, or the eerie isolation of the mountains. Or maybe the knot deer still roams the foothills, waiting silently for anyone bold enough to venture too far from the trail.
I need to stop Googling pictures of these things as you're telling the story, because listening to you talk about them and looking at photos of them at the same time is not good for me.
Honestly, the knot deer are scary as hell.
Dude, that is horrifying.
Yeah, it really is.
I will say, I'm more of a skeptic when it comes to most creepy things that go bump in the night. I wouldn't say that I'm not a believer. I'm just more of a, I don't know. I don't spend a whole lot of time thinking about it, I guess, for the most part. And when I do think about it, I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to fuck with it because it's not fucking with me. And I'm sure if it ever did fuck with me, I would have a change of heart really fast. But the explanation of it being like the wasting disease, that makes a lot of sense to me.
It does make a lot of sense.
I need to stop looking at my other monitor. Some of these photos are
terrible,
unhinged. That's weird. It does sound like something that the Winchester brothers would be chasing after.
Yeah, definitely.
For
definitely.
Sure. Yeah.
I do believe that in also another one that's been brought up in the next episode, I do talk about the Wendigo.
Yeah. There's a lot of like Native American folklore and stuff with animals in the US and whatnot. And you said Navajo
yes.
was that's interesting. You know what would be interesting is looking at a map of like cryptid hot points in the US, overlay that with the
ley lines.
No, well, I mean the ley lines, but also the tribal lines.
Yeah, the tribal lines. So if we get that, the ley lines, the tribal lines, and then we also pop on the missing persons as well.
That would be interesting. That would be
really interesting to see. We might have to do that for an episode, and we'll do like a deep dive into that.
We could even just do it as something like a photo that we could upload as like a post.
Yeah.
For people on like our Instagram or something. I don't know. But yeah, so is it like a hybrid? Is what a lot of the photos look like is like it's like a hybrid between two different animals almost.
Yeah, well, I think the whole thing of maybe Skinwalker kind of shapeshifter trying to pretend like it's a deer, but not quite getting it right.
Right. I don't understand what the goal of skinwalkers are. Like, just cause havoc and mayhem?
I don't know. Well, we'll probably be doing a deep dive into skinwalkers at some point. Like, it's
we're gonna have to.
If like at the moment I'm gonna be doing I'm doing it in this story kind of thing. if anybody wants me to go into a full proper deep dive and actually do some hectic research on all of these things, feel free to ask in the comments because I love this stuff. So Cindy said that she's a skeptic. I'm not a skeptic. I'm one of these people that's like, yeah, there's weird crap out there. And I am so interested in that stuff, hence why I'm doing an episode on cryptids, my guys.
That's why we're doing the road trip.
And that's why we're doing the road trip.
I can show you there's nothing to worry about in the US.
But we're also doing ghosty stuff on the road trip.
We are.
Which I'm excited about.
Well, you are. I don't know. I don't know if me being there just technically counts as we both are doing it.
Yes, it does.
Ugh, fine.
you can piss the ghosts off. It's fine.
Dancing on here in Bridge, Goatman.
Well, we are aiming to go to Goatman Bridge. It's on the way.
Yeah.
Might as well.
But the thing is like, it might mess with our timeline a little bit because I know you have like, this is why, okay, so she's wanting you guys to tell her to hyperfixate on something because her ADHD loves hyperfixating on things and ask me how I know. I was like, hey, let's do a road trip from Orlando to Washington. And she was like, by the next day, had a full itinerary and where we were going to stop and what we were going to do and how many days we were going to spend in one place. So yeah, if you guys could give her something else to hyperfixate on, that would be great.
Cindy said, yeah, let's do a road trip. I went, bet.
She was like, bet. She's like, and this is how much we'll need for the van, and this is how much we'll need for food, and then this is how much the plane tickets are going to cost, and if we fly from here, blah, 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 whatever. But the other part of it is that if we might not necessarily be, like for Goatman Bridge, we might not necessarily be there at nighttime, depending on, like, what our timeline looks like. If we're really wanting to, like, film at night, then it might extend our timeline a little bit. So that's just
who knows? Food for this is where we get like a ton of comments going, oh my god, I want to see that.
We'll see. Well, I mean, it doesn't really matter if people want to see it or not. I mean, like, if they want to and they're interested in it, great. But at the same time, we're going to be doing it anyways, so it doesn't really matter. We already have it planned. Pass on to our non-existent children that neither of us are going to have.
It's like the modern day scrapbook, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Here's the road trip vlog.
Like, I'll be immortal on YouTube forever.
Why not?
Oh, okay.
So we're going to our last cryptid, which is back in the UK.
Okay. All right, I got my Google fingers ready.
So we're popping to the Lake District this time, and I believe that is on the line of the Appalachian type of line. That's the Lake District, so it's like northwest of England.
Okay,
it's basically between Manchester and Scotland.
Okay, well that's a big swath of area.
There is a big swath of area there. So you've got like Manchester, and then you go up into the Lake District, and then you go into Cumbria, and then you go into Scotland.
Gotcha. Okay.
In the remote western reaches of England's Lake District lies Ennerdale, a quiet valley with limited roads, few visitors, and an isolation that has kept it off the beaten tourist path for centuries. But in 1810, this tranquil landscape was the setting for something far from peaceful. For 6 months, the small farming community around Ennerdale Bridge lived in terror of a mysterious sheep-killing creature that came to be known as the Girt Dog of Ennerdale. Some called it a vampire dog because it seemed to drain the blood from its victims, leaving the flesh largely untouched, though soft organs like the liver were gone. In total, between 300 and 400 sheep fell prey to the beast. Farmers patrolled at night, but the creature's nightly raids, often 8 sheep a night, continued unabated. The first hunters glimpsed something unexpected Witnesses described a large, sandy brown animal with dark stripes, looking like a cross between a dog and a cat, but bigger than either. Its intelligence was unnerving. The Girt Dog would lure hunting hounds away from packs, crippling them with precise bites before disappearing into the hills. Over 100 hunters eventually scoured the valley, but the creature continued to evade capture. Its reign of terror ended when a hunter finally wounded it with a buckshot near the River Ihin. Pursued by hounds, it attempted to escape into the water, only to be brought down on the far bank. The corpse weighed about 8 stone, roughly the size of a large dog. The animal was stuffed and displayed in Keswick Museum. But decades later, it was discarded, leaving the true identity of the Girt Dog a mystery. Over the years, theories have abounded. Some speculate it was a thylacine, a Tasmanian tiger, escaped from a travelling circus, matching the sandy fur and stripes described. Its unusual feeding habits, favouring blood and soft organs, could align with the thylacine's delicate jaw structure. Although experts note that a thylacine likely couldn't take down a full-grown sheep. The simpler explanation? The Girt Dog may have been nothing more exotic than a dog, possibly a cross between a lurcher and an English Mastiff. Brindle coats can produce striking stripes, and the size would fit. Whatever it was, the legend of the Girt Dog of Ennerdale lingers in the misty valleys, a reminder that even in quiet, isolated corners of the world, the night can hide predators, both real and imagined. So, when I was doing the research for this, like, a Tasmanian devil would make sense, like they said, but
yeah,
they definitely couldn't take down like a fully grown sheep, and that's what it was doing. Another thing is there's other creatures. So there's like hyenas. It could have been a hyena because hyenas have the same like sort of patterns as well.
right.
And they could definitely take down a sheep.
Yeah, yeah. And looking at pictures, this is like the least creepy cryptid of the ones that you've selected. And just for my Americans out there, 8 stone is about 112 to 15 pounds. So it's a decent size. It's a decent size. Yeah. That's really interesting. I also think that people forget how big sheep are.
Yeah. And sheep are stupid.
Like, and sheep are pretty they're pretty stupid. However, it's not only are sheep big, but they also, I mean, depending on the season and if they've been sheared or not, to be able to get through the wool, to be able to drain the animal of blood, that's crazy.
And then nick off with its liver.
Yeah, and well, and the thing is like, of course there are animals out there, but I think that something that a lot of Americans tend to forget, there are not predators really here in the UK. There's like, when you go out in the US, you have to be aware, like depending on where you're at, you have certain types of snakes, or you have wolves, or you have mountain lions, or you have grizzly bears. Like, you have all sorts of animals that could kill you at any given point, depending on where you are. That doesn't exist in the UK because the UK has been around for so long. It's been populated for so long. It's been hunted for so long. I'm not saying that there's no wild animals, but for the most part, it's just been settled for so long, and it's an island. So unless people bring predators onto the island, which, you know, with customs and things like that is pretty hard to do, there's really nothing here. It's kind of like it's similar to New Zealand, where it's an island that just, there hasn't been, I mean, most of the birds in New Zealand are ground animals because they never had to fly to get away from anything because they just weren't being hunted by anything. So, I mean, one of the other questions I had, which I mean, again, your explanation of things makes sense, and this is probably superfluous. They're regional then. So
Yeah.
like you probably are not going to find the same cryptids in China that you would in like Brazil.
No. I mean, I
Right.
don't
Okay.
know, because we might find similarities. So, say for instance, we have similarities over here that you guys have in America. So the big grey man, for example, that could
Mhm.
be a Bigfoot. It could be a Yeti.
Right. Okay. That
That's
makes
my
sense.
thoughts on it anyway, because of how he's described, and with it being 20 foot tall and big booming footsteps. I think that that's probably more akin to your guys's Bigfoot. And then obviously
Mhm.
in the next episode, I'm going to be talking about the Owl Man and also Mothman, and there's some
Mhm.
similarities there as well. So we do have very similar cryptids. Do you guys have banshees over there, or is that us?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we
I
also
mean,
have banshees. They're primarily in Scotland, I believe, Scotland and Ireland. So
Scotland.
yet again on that line that I said before.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, also, I mean, that makes sense because there's a lot of folklore and fairy tales
Yeah.
and things that are very prevalent in both Scotland and Ireland, and a lot of people know about that. But would you really expect anything different from from Scotland from a country that their national animal is a unicorn?
True. True. And
So
then you have Wales who have the dragon.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, they're to me, a dragon existing makes a little bit more sense than than a unicorn. Unicorn doesn't really make as much sense to
There
me.
are unicorns, though. Unicorns do exist. They're just fat and grey.
They're fat and gray.
They're fat and
Yeah,
grey.
rhinos.
Well,
Okay.
actually, technically, there's two types of unicorn then, because there's also the aquatic unicorn, which is also fat and grey, and it's called a narwhal.
Narwhals. I okay. Well, that's gonna be a whole tangent. Never mind. Um Okay, so my last question for you, because we're kind of running low on time here. Which cryptid is your favorite, or have we not talked about your favorite?
We haven't talked about my favourite yet.
Okay, but what is it? Just to...
So my favourite cryptid is the skinwalkers.
Skinwalkers?
Yeah. That's my favourite American cryptid anyway. My favourite UK cryptid, yet again, we haven't talked about them, are Selkies.
Oh, Selkies? Yeah, okay.
Which I will be talking about Selkies as well. I fucking love Selkies. They're so cute, but dangerous.
I am pretty sure... Nope. Cut that. That's really cool. Oh, man. Well... I'm looking forward. I think I'm going to have a lot more questions next time because I kind of walked into this being completely blind. Because, like, again, me being a skeptic, this is very out of my wheelhouse.
That, and you didn't realize how I had planned to give you all of the information.
No, I didn't. And that was very interesting. And I think you got a little bit of a taste what it was like for me reading Reddit stories and having to repeat yourself several times.
Which will be edited.
It's okay. We have it will fix it in post. We'll fix it in post. It'll fix it in post.
So guys, this has been Underqualified and Over It.
If you made it this far, that's on you.
We'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye. Bye.